Africa, a land of majestic kingdoms, intricate cultures, and ancient wisdom, was once the heartbeat of an interconnected world. Its empires traded gold, salt, and ideas, standing as paragons of innovation and human achievement. But with the arrival of European powers in the 15th century, this vibrant continent became the stage for one of history's darkest tragedies: the transatlantic slave trade. A religion of love. Used to enslave, at the core of this enterprise lay a profound contradiction. Christianity, a religion proclaiming love, equality, and redemption, was transformed into a weapon of conquest and control. What was meant to liberate souls became a tool to shackle bodies and spirits. From the shores of West Africa to the plantations of the Americas, the Bible was invoked to sanctify greed and justify unimaginable cruelty. Biblical justifications for slavery. Twisting Scripture for profit. The Bible, a sacred text for millions, became a tool for slave merchants and masters, wielded to rationalize the enslavement of millions of African men, women, and children. It was misinterpreted and weaponized, with passages cherry-picked to align with the economic and political interests of European powers. The Curse of Ham, a theological weapon against Africa. One of the most infamous justifications arose from the story of Noah and his sons, found in the book of Genesis. In this narrative, Noah curses Canaan, the son of Ham, to be a servant of servants. Although no connection to African peoples exists within the text, European theologians and colonizers claimed that Africans were the descendants of Ham, destined for servitude. This interpretation, devoid of historical or scriptural validity, became a cornerstone for the theological defense of slavery. The New Testament's role in enforcing obedience. The New Testament also provided ammunition. Passages such as Ephesians chapter 6 verse 5, where Paul instructs, "Slaves, obey your earthly masters with respect and fear," were frequently cited. These verses were removed from their historical and cultural contexts, presented instead as divine endorsement of the institution of slavery. In sermons, pamphlets, and religious tracts, these interpretations echoed across the Atlantic, fortifying the moral justifications for an immoral trade. Religious institutions and the profits of enslavement. Religious institutions were not passive observers, but active participants in the transatlantic slave trade. The Roman Catholic Church, through papal decrees such as Dom Diversus and Romanus Pontifex, explicitly authorized the enslavement of non-Christians. These edicts provided legal and spiritual cover for the Portuguese and Spanish empires as they expanded their domains into Africa and the Americas. The Church and slavery, a complicity in chains. In England, the Anglican Church directly profited from slavery. The Codrington plantation in Barbados, owned by the Society for the Propagation of the Gospel in Foreign Parts, operated with enslaved African labor. These plantations generated wealth that funded missionary activities and church operations, binding the sacred and the profane inextricably together. The Bible in chains, censored scripture, and spiritual manipulation. On the ground, the use of Christianity to control enslaved people was deliberate and calculated. Slave owners often restricted access to books, with one critical exception: the Bible. But even then, it was a censored version, carefully curated to exclude passages that emphasized liberation and equality. Enslaved Africans were often permitted, or even encouraged, to attend religious services where sermons emphasized obedience, submission, and the divine sanction of their master's authority. The good ship Jesus. Piety meets profit. Sir John Hawkins, one of England's earliest slave traders, epitomized the intertwining of Christianity and slavery. Hawkins named his slave ship the good ship Jesus, and reportedly insisted that his crew engage in daily prayers, even as they chained and transported African captives across the Atlantic. This grotesque juxtaposition of piety and cruelty became a hallmark of the era. On plantations, enslaved Africans were often compelled to attend services where they were taught that slavery was their divine fate. Clergymen, paid by plantation owners, preached sermons reinforcing the idea that rebellion against slavery was rebellion against God. This spiritual manipulation sought to break the spirit of the enslaved while ensuring their compliance. However, the enslaved resisted. They read between the lines of the same Bible handed to them, finding inspiration in the stories of liberation and justice. The Exodus narrative, in which Moses leads the Israelites out of bondage, became a source of hope and defiance. Spirituals like "Go Down, Moses" echoed across fields and quarters, transforming Scripture into a rallying cry for freedom. Liberation in the texts. The enslaved find their exodus. Religious indoctrination also served a broader colonial agenda. Missionaries arriving in Africa framed their work as a civilizing mission, branding African spiritual systems as heathen or satanic. By converting Africans to Christianity, they argued, they were saving souls, even as they uprooted cultures and identities. In this way, Christianity was weaponized not only to justify slavery, but also to pave the way for colonization. Missionaries and the civilizing mission, Christianity in Africa. The Jesuits, one of Christianity's most influential orders, provide a telling example of this dual role. In 1838, Jesuit priests sold 272 enslaved individuals to sustain Georgetown University financially. This sale, meticulously documented, highlights the complicity of religious institutions in perpetuating slavery. This is the story of Faith in Chains, a cautionary tale of how sacred texts can be twisted to serve profane purposes and a testament to the enduring human spirit that seeks freedom in even the darkest of times.
Keep watching TV Afrique. Remember to subscribe to our channel and follow us on social media for more videos.